on recent trends in technology, ICRTT 2026. In an era where artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and machine learning are not just subjects, but the very fabric of our global economy, a conference of this nature is a vital bridge. It bridges the gap between academic theory and the rapidly evolving software industry. Today, we are not just discussing technology, we are shaping the mindset of future innovators. We are particularly honored to have Dr. Arulmurugan Ramu with us. Sir, your presence from Kazakhstan via the digital media helps us for this recent trends in technology. We are here to celebrate ability of knowledge to transcend borders instantly. I must express my deepest gratitude to our management secretary, my fellow HODs from other departments. Thank you for solitary and for joining us in this celebration of innovation. I wish all the participants a day of profound learning and intellectual growth. May ICRTT 2026 be a milestone that inspires us to innovate, integrate, and influence the world. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A great beginning sets the tone for a remarkable journey. Now, to present the conference prelude, I would like to invite Mr. R. Uday Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, to briefly outline the essence and objectives of this conference.
Good morning to one and all. I take this privilege to give the conference prelude. So it is a great pride and enthusiasm to present this conference organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Artificial Intelligence and Data Science and Information Technology from the College of Nada Saswati, College of Engineering and Technology. So ICRT 2026, so it serves as an international platform for the researchers, academicians, engineers, industrial professionals and students to share their innovations and research in the field of computer science and engineering. So in this conference, as a highlight, the papers what we have collected are from artificial intelligence, data science, cyber security, cloud computing, IoT, smart systems, and much more. So around 100 papers we have received from various states. So 23 papers from internal participants of Nada Saswati College of Engineering Technology, and 77 papers from 23 different external colleges have been received, and they are about to present in this particular conference. And we have received the ISBN book chapter for all the participants who are presenting it. And as a keynote address will be delivered by Dr. Arulmurugan Ramu sir. And I welcome you for this particular event, sir. Let this conference get to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a clear and insightful overview of the conference. Knowledge recorded becomes knowledge that lives forever. Documentation is the bridge between ideas and legacy. Now we move to an important segment, the release of the conference ICRTT 2026. Now I request the organizing team and respected dignitaries to kindly proceed with the virtual release of the conference proceedings. Please, sir.
Yes. No audio, sir.
There's no audio, sir. Uday Kumar, sir. Kindly unmute your system, sir.
Mr. Uday Kumar, sir, it is getting stuck, sir. It is getting stuck and no audio also.
Behind every accomplished individual lies a journey worth hearing. A great introduction sets the stage for a greater message. Now I request our final year student, Ms. S. Madhubala, final year CSE, to introduce our keynote speaker. Please, ma'am. True educators don't just teach technology, they inspire minds to innovate, explore, and create a better future. It's a great honor to introduce Dr. Arunmurugan Ramu, an accomplished academician, researcher, and a global educator. He's currently serving as an associate professor in the Department of Computational Science and Software Engineering at Shariat University, Aktob campus, Kazakhstan. His expertise spans artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. With over 1,773 citations and an H index of 19, along with a PhD from Anna University, Dr. Arunmurugan has made significant books, patents, and international conferences. He is also a senior member of IEEE and ASEAN. Having a thought across India, Ethiopia, and Kazakhstan, he has mentored numerous MSc and PhD students in advanced AI domains, inspiring innovation and research. What truly sets him apart is his humility, passion for teaching, and dedication to shaping future innovators. Let us warmly welcome a visionary academician and inspiring mentor, Dr. Arunmurugan.
Thank you for the welcoming address and giving a brief introduction. Shall I start my presentation?
Yes, sir, you can.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay. Thank you once again. Actually, I am in a busy schedule. Actually, the conference is planned at 9:30 and I should be available in the Ministry of Education at 10 o'clock. So I will be rushing up the presentation. Sorry for this inconvenience because already I informed to Dr. Satya. I have a busy schedule today with the Ministry of Education and I should be present there. Okay. So today keynote address which I present is, are you able to hear me? My voice is audible?
Yes, sir, you can.
It's audible, sir. It's clear.
Okay. So my keynote presentation is based on Edge AI with the federated continual learning. which is mainly for privacy preservation in healthcare. Actually, this federated learning is used in different kinds of applications, but I took in healthcare because recently I am doing one project under the fund of Kazakhstan nation. They used to give scientific projects. So the funded value is around $60,000. I am developing applications for preserving the medical data based on privacies. So the title is Next Generation Privacy for Medical Data at Heterogeneity Levels. So there are different types of data are available under the medical field. And here, when you see the presentation structure, actually I divided into 6 parts: basic introductions and the core concepts and the key challenges which we are facing in these projects, and how the privacy preservations are done. And I took some case studies related to the diseases, and finally conclusions. What are the researches can be done in futures? Basically, when you take a healthcare data, there are different kinds of data are there. One will be related with the images. The other will be non-image types. When you take with image-oriented types, it will be covering under CT images, MRI images, X-ray images, and it is used to view the skeletal levels of our bodies and orthopedic levels of data. Sometimes if you are want to deal with a cancer, we will be using mammograms. Mammograms will be used for identifying the cancers. So these are the data which are more sensitive when compared with other data. And the next, non-image oriented data. Nowadays, most of the peoples are using smartwatches. I think, I guess mostly around 80% of people are using smartwatches. The smartwatches which we use to collect the body conditions related with blood pressures and heart rates and sleeping patterns, and even your walking steps that will be counted. So this data will be also collected for analyzing the healthcare. So based upon this data, now when you see here, mostly healthcare data has increased. It becomes a big volume of data. So currently it is a 2.5 exabytes of data are available. That should be preserved because it is more sensitive and it cannot be kept in a public way. And most of these data which contributed in research side is 30%. Around 30% is available. When you come with market levels, if you want to design any AI or any AI applications or AI model, we need healthcare data. So the total market is around $250 billion. And here, when you are dealing with healthcare data, mostly these healthcare data will be given to AI systems. Now, when you give to the AI systems, whether that will be preserving the privacy, that is a big question rise here, because the AI systems cannot be developed without training. So for training the AI systems, we need data, and we will be giving this healthcare data. Now, when you give this healthcare data, whether the privacy will be preserved or not, this is a big question marks. So when this comes to the situations, and it's difficult to deal with the healthcare data. So with the AI, so there are various difficulties which we'll be facing when we try to uh, apply this healthcare with AI. Mostly when you are designing AI systems, or when you are applying machine learning language or deep learning language, which will be a centralized approach. So when you go with a centralized approach, we cannot give the data towards one single server. We cannot give the single to the centralized server, which causes the privacy leakage. And most of our patients' records will be having different high sensitive information like diagnosis, medications, and genetic informations will be available. Generally, these privacies are restricted by HIPAA. HIPAA is nothing but one associations which used to give the preservations for your privacies, and they used to charge most of the hospitals annually. They are collecting the fine for $100 million for violation of privacies. So, and we cannot make data sharing in different platforms. This is one drawback when you go with AI systems applying the healthcare applications. And sometimes the data may be also attacked, and they identify the information what is available, and 87% of data were being de-anonymized from the attacks. So these are the problems which we used to face when we apply the centralized approach. Now, when you move, what will be the solutions for this? The solution is, there is a concept called as federated learning. I don't know how many of you came across this federated learning. This federated learning is nothing but we'll be sharing the gradient. We'll be sharing the gradient instead of sharing the data. So gradient is nothing but the trained parameter in the neural network. We'll be sharing the gradient. From that gradient, they can be applied with the other kinds of data. Next is, here my approach is applying Edge AI with the federated learning. So Edge AI will be nothing but which used to process the data at the local levels. That means we will be implementing the machine learnings under the local networks, and it will process the data, then it will move to the cloud. Continual learning means it is nothing but recently we faced with the COVID situations. Under COVID situations, it was a new disease, and suddenly we are unable to predict the disease, and it took at least 6 months for the treatment and for identifications of the disease. So when some new diseases comes, how this machine learning can work, or this artificial intelligence model can work, and how it can be quickly identify that new disease, that can be done by using a quick learning, continual learning approach can be applied. And for privacy preservations, we can do differential privacy methods, which is nothing but a mathematical approach that can be applied. And the next is, here it is fully based on cloud and sharing of data. So we need a secure aggregations. So that model can be also included here. So these are the opportunities which can be overcome in the healthcare applications. Next, what is the main motivation of my key presentation is why healthcare needs FCL. FCL is nothing but federated continuous learning. Generally, these healthcare data are fully controlled by various associations like HIPAA, GDPR, and regional regulations. I'm available.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your voice is audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, suddenly the presentations get muted. The
But your
screen is
presentation
visible
is not visible, sir.
now.
No. Your presentation is not visible. Yeah.
It's now visible.
Now it is visible, sir. Yes.
Okay. The main motivation is that generally these healthcare applications oriented data are fully controlled by with different associations like HIPAA, GDPR, and regional regulations bodies. These bodies will be preventing the sharing of raw patient records. We cannot directly share with different hospitals. So what we'll be doing is we'll be applying this federated learning, which is mostly related with this privacy preservation concern. And the next is data silos. Data silos is nothing but each hospital will be having a different records. It is totally scattered, and it is also heterogenetic. Heterogenetic means some will be maintaining CT images, and some will be using a different manufacturing scanners like Siemens and various scanning device they will be using, and their formats will be different. So we have to deal with that kind of heterogeneity data that can be also supported by this federated learning system. And next is evolving clinical realities. Here, suppose a new variant of disease is coming. We have to update the protocol, or we have to update the model, And every time the patient used to shift from one location to the other location. That is also happening in the real world situations. That can be also dealt with this federated learning. And next is system and data integrity. As I said, the hospital used to scan with the different formats, and some hospital will be maintaining with cardiac images. Some hospitals will be maintaining with the pediatric trauma. All this will be maintained. So all this different dynamic environment, this federated learning will be helpful. Now, the proposed solution is nowadays there are various healthcare devices are available. One is the best example is the smartwatches, and in hospitals also we are having different equipments, and all these places we have a data. That data should be fully preserved. So my proposed solution is HGIA plus federated continuous learning. So I will be mixing all these three so that the entire healthcare applications will be fully preserved. This is my main motive, and this is my proposed solution. As before starting into further discussion, I want to explain the second level of this keynote address, which is nothing but a core concepts. I think mostly some bachelor students and master students will be available. So first I want to explain what is AGI and what is federated learning and what is continuous learning and how it is integrated. When you take an AGI, mostly nowadays we are having MIoT. MIoT is nothing but medical IoTs. Medical IoTs which deals with the sensing of healthcare informations from the human bodies, and it will be transferring to the AI model, and the AI model will be again transferring to the decentralized networks. Decentralized network is nothing but a cloud platform, and this all can be done with the help of mobile devices. This is related with AGI concepts. Under this AGI, we will be deploying the machine learning model directly into the edge devices. Edge devices is nothing but your smartwatches like IoT sensors, hospital workstations, and the medical scanner. Instead of going to the cloud, because if you go to the cloud, we need a proper network bandwidth, and also we need a high speed network for transmission of these data, and it will be totally reduce the speed of your operations. So what we'll be doing is we'll be partially doing the training activities with the edge devices like your smartwatches and IoT and your hospital local workstations and medical scanning devices, which will be connected with the edge devices. Because of this, if you do, we'll be having low latencies. The real-time clinical decisions can be taken quickly, and data locality. The patient data will never move from the local to the global levels, and the bandwidth savings will be saving the bandwidths, and mainly resilience with working in offlines, no dependency with the cloud connectivities, and the energy efficiency. Energy efficiency in the way, if I want to say, is nothing but we'll be using tiny MLs. Tiny ML is a small machine learning model that will be designed with hardware supports. So when I use this AGI in a hospital related network systems, it is mainly applied at the various levels. One is like wearable devices, hospital levels for medical image workstations, and lab analysis, and followed by ICU monitoring for monitoring the signs of the patients. Suppose some patients are in coma, if they are moving some activities, their movements are there, we can monitor that. And also informatic systems. Informatic systems, what we'll be doing is we'll be analyzing with the drug interaction systems. And if I want to represent in architecture level for AGI, this AGI is divided into three levels. One tier 1, which is a basic sensor levels and the wearable levels, and that will be connected to tier 2, which is nothing but the networks under the partial training with hospitals. And here we'll be applying federated aggregations. This federated aggregation is nothing but I will be explaining in coming slides what is federated aggregations. So You can make a note on this federated aggregation. And next, after that, once the local training is done, then that particular model will be updated with the cloud, so that we'll be using for the future reference. And in the right side, you can find the data flow of privacies, how the privacies are preserved. First, we'll be taking a raw data and it will be converted into feature vectors. We'll be taking only the features at the edge levels and we'll be generating the gradients. Gradient is a main part of AI process. Without gradient, we will be unable to do this federated learning. And finally, that gradients will be moved to the global model and the global model will be get updated and the predictions happens. So this is a overall workflow of the privacy precision at edge levels. Next, this is a deep level of diagram to indicate how the privacy preservation is done. I will skip this because already I explained in the previous slide due to the short duration time. Next, I will be moving with the federated learning. In this federated learning, the main key point is that training without sharing the data. This is a main agenda of the federated learning. We will not take the data, but we train the neural networks without sharing the data. If I want to explain the federated learning, first I should know what is a neural network. So under the neural network, I will make just a small recall. I think many of us came across these neural network concepts. Under the neural network, we used to do back propagations and gradient descent calculation. What is this back propagations? Back propagation is nothing but we pass the data to the neural network. The neural network get trained. Sometimes error may be generated. Loss will be generated for the predicted output. That loss functions, that loss should be corrected and the weight should be updated. That process is called as a gradient descent. So under the training loop, when you take a training loop here, these are the 4 steps we used to follow. First will be computing the output for the given inputs. That is nothing but whatever data you give, it will be calculating the outputs Y. And all the neural networks will not initially give the exact output. Whichever neural network you take or artificial intelligence system takes when you're training, it will not take an exact output. It will not give an exact output. Some losses will be happening. So we should compute the loss. Based upon the loss, again, we have to update the weights. And this is a continuous chain propagations, which continues until we get a proper predicted outputs. Now, this is a small illustration, which I made an animation regarding this neural network. So this is the initial level of training. In this initial level of training, when you see here, they will be giving the inputs and it will be passing through the various hidden layers. And finally, it will be predicting the outputs. That output may be get some losses. Some losses will be generated. Again, with the help of losses, we have to make an updation of weights. The weight should be updated every time. And when you get a right output and when you get a right output, we'll be stopping the training. And this updated weights will be shared. Okay, this is a basic neural network. And with this basic neural network, which cannot be applied to our healthcare applications. So we have to modify them. So what we are going to do is, first, the server will be sending the current global model weightages to all the participating client. For example, if we are having multiple hospitals, they are participating in a AI training for prediction of diseases or any healthcare applications. The server will be sending the current global model. A global model will be maintained by the server and that will be transferred to the participating hospitals and they will be doing a local training with their data. So here we are not sharing the data. We are sharing the models and the gradient descent. So here each hospital will be training the model with the local private data. So local private data they will be training, and finally the gradients will be shared instead of sharing of raw data. So to the server, what they will be doing is they will be sharing the raw gradients to the server, and the server will update again. From the server, the model will be transferred to the clients. This is the workflow of federated learning without sharing of data. So this is an architecture diagram which was took from the paper 2024, and you can find the visual representation how this federated learning used to work. So we'll be having various clients at hospital levels. One hospital will be dealing with different kinds of disease. The other hospital will be dealing with other kinds of diseases. So they will be forming a group, and this group will be connected to the centralized server. And here the model will be first initially transferred to all the clients, and the clients will be training their data, training the data with the AI model, and the gradients will be transferred. As I explained previously, the gradients is the most important part of our federated learning. And the model gets updated. The global model gets updated. Again, this global model will be transferring to the clients, and the clients will be using this. So this is a basic working of federated learning. Now, in this federated learning, one of the main key point is federated average. Average. So here each model will be giving each client will be giving different gradients. This model will be giving one gradients, and a client 2 will be giving different gradients. So all these gradients should be average. So this is an algorithmic representations how the averaging is taking place. And when you apply averaging, we'll be getting a common gradient, so that common gradients can be transferred to the clients. Here, what are the key properties? First key properties is communication efficiencies. When you take only gradients transmissions instead of raw data, it is quickly transmitted because data will be more. Raw data will be in a form of GBs or TBs. We don't know how much size it will be. When you transfer only gradients, it will be very less in size, so that the communications will be more quicker and easier. And next is the next key point attributes is independent support. So each hospitals will be having a different heterogeneitical distributions of data that can be also supported by these models. And next, Fed proxy. Fed proxy is nothing but we'll be using a proximal values in order to handle the privacies. And next is Fed Nova. Fed Nova is nothing but we'll be doing a normalizations at each client level in order to make a equalization of data. And Fed BN, batch normalization, because we are dealing with heterogeneous data. Each hospital will be having different kinds of informations. We have to do a batch-wise normalizations that can be also done by this federated learning. Next, so far I have given a core concepts related with the HGI and federated learning. Now, continual learning. What is continual learning? Continual learning is nothing but, as I said previously, suppose some new diseases are coming, how to handle that new diseases. Every time when you are training with AI, with raw data or any clinical healthcare applications, it will forget your previous informations or previous values, and which may be causing catastrophic failures. So suppose some new diseases are coming, like COVID variants and like dengue diseases. If you want to deal such kind of diseases, we should adopt a continual learning for upgradation of systems. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate a continual learning without forgetting your previous trained informations or trained values. So here we maintain a 3 levels of architectures. One is called as regulation based and replay based and architecture based. Here, as I said, every year or every different real-time situations, we are getting new diseases. And this AI is fully depends upon the data how you train it. The data how you train it. For example, if your neural network is trained with a particular task, and if you are giving a new task, it used to forget the old task, and we'll be getting a catastrophic failure in our AI systems. So here I have given a picture explanations how catastrophic failures happens or catastrophic forgetting happens. So suppose a AI model is trained with a task 1, and it is given with the X-ray images, and it works well. Now when I give the task 2 for CT scan images, it will forget the half of your previous task. And again, when I go with the task 3, it will be forgetting the previous trained fully or offly. And when I go with the pathological training, it may forget your previous trained values. So now, how this can be overcome? So this can be overcome by using EWC. EWC is nothing but elastic weight consolidations. So what we'll be doing is, we'll be protecting the important weights that is needed from our previous trained values. This is nothing but Fisher-based approach, we call it. So when I represent in a mathematical form, this is a mathematical equations which used to calculate the loss of your previous tasking. And here, when I apply this Fisherman approach, it is retaining the previous task accuracy without missing the values. Next, how this continual learning will be adapted with your federated learning. First thing is privacy. That is a main motive of federated learning. The raw data should not be shared to the other hospitals or other devices. And next is collaborations with hospitals in order to build a better model. And third is adaptability. Adaptability deals with new kinds of diseases when it trained with new data values. Okay, this is a overall architecture for my current projects, which I proposed to the government, and it is undergoing. And we have made a tie-up with hospitals because here we have more medical hospitals. And I realized when I came to the Kazakhstan, and many Indian students are doing a medicals here. Through them, I made a contact with these hospitals, and this project was now going on currently. And suppose if you have various hospitals like this, for example, one hospital will be dealing with a radiologist, the other hospitals will be dealing with oncologists, and the other hospitals is maintaining EHR. Now, all this will be trained with one model, which is transferred from the global model, server model. And once it is trained, they will be transmitting the gradients. They will be transmitting the gradients, and that gradients will be done with federated aggregations. In this federated aggregations, what we'll be doing is we'll be calculating the average. That average will be given to the global model, and the global model, again, it will be transmitting the average gradient descent to the hospitals, which is connected with the global model. And here, we'll be applying a continuous learning, and this continuous learning, whatever disease comes, and they will be able to classify the overall accuracies. And this was the overall architectures which I given. Here, the accuracy also maintained, and data privacy also maintained. Next, key challenges which we face here is mainly communications and different types of data and securities and regulations. All these are the problems. First thing is communication efficiencies. As I said, suppose if you are connecting with more hospitals, then transmitting of gradient descents is also a bit heavier, because every time when we train and we transmit the gradient descents, it will be too large and it will be taking more spaces. So what we should do is we should do gradient compressions, and by compressing it by using quantizations, it will be reducing the number of bits to 32 bits to 80 8 bits. And this was the method to make a high communication efficiency. Next is knowledge distillations. Instead of transmitting the gradients, we can go with the soft predictions. The soft predictions can be applied, and this will be helpful for better communication. Next is asynchronous federated learning. In asynchronous federated learning, what we'll be doing is the client will be updating by its own without waiting for the others, because it is a group activity. It has to wait for the updations of other hospital gradient descents. So instead of going with the waiting, the clients can update by its own phases. This mode is called as asynchronous mode. And the last mode is called as heterogeneity, not heterogeneity, hierarchical mode. In this hierarchical mode, what we'll be doing is we'll be going with regional wise aggregations. And finally it goes to the centralized server. So these are the 4 approaches which can be made in effective communications. Next challenge is the second challenge is non-IID. Here what we'll be facing is the patient demographics. Sometimes the patient may be moving from one location to the other locations, and sometimes the hospitals will be using a different protocols and the scanner devices like Siemens, or they will be using GE, and some will be having the specialized diseases. When you come to India, we'll be having dengue diseases. When you go to Ethiopia, we'll be having malaria diseases. The region-wise, the diseases gets varies. And for such kind of heterogeneity, we have to deal it. And next is specialty focus. Some hospitals will be more focused on the particular diseases or for curing activities. Some will be concentrating on cardiac centers. Some will be concentrating on the child centers. All this should be dealt. And next is documentation practice. All these challenges will be facing, how it can be overcome. So here are the solutions which can be given by this federated learning. We have 4 approaches. One is called as FedPox. In this FedPox, what we'll be doing is we'll be doing a proxies. As I said, it is a limited time. I just rush up. This heterogenetic data can be dealt with these 4 approaches. One is called as Fed proxies. We'll be applying the proximal terms. And next is scanfold. Here we'll be doing a controlled variant to correct the client drifts. And next is Fed media. This is nothing but layer wise. We'll be applying the federated learning based upon the layer wise. And personalized PL. Personalized PL is, as I said, regional wise, we'll be having different diseases. So we'll be personalizing this federated learning. So these are the 4 approaches to deal with heterogeneitical data. Next, the third challenge is related with regulatories. As I said, this full hospital data are fully controlled with these 4 associations. These are the primary associations. One is called as HIFA. They used to protect the personal informations, healthcare informations, without leaving that particular hospitals. And next is GDPR, which is mainly used for giving the explanation what purpose we are using the model, that will be dealt with the GDPR. And FDA. FDA is nothing but which used to indicate for softwares for medicals. We have some certain standard rules that should be followed when you are applying a softwares or any medical devices. And the 4th association is ISOs. You know already, it is available for other kinds of systems. So here, these 4 organizations are mainly comes under these healthcare applications. All these 4 rules and regulations are fully controlled the healthcare information, and based upon the rules and regulations, this federated learning is fully helping to develop an AI systems. Next, privacy preservations. Under the privacy preservations, what are the techniques we used to follow? So here the main privacy preservation technique is I use differential privacies. Already this was implemented in various papers. The same thing I am following. Here we have a various threats. What are the threats is gradient inverse attack. By decoding the gradients, they can get the informations. And the next is model poisoning. In some malfunction hospitals, they will be injecting the backdoor triggers, the local models, and they corrupt the global prediction models. And sometimes the memberships will be get attacked. And these are the various attacks. You can just go through it. Because of the time, I'm rushing up. Okay. Next, in differential privacies, it is nothing but a mathematical way of giving a guarantee towards preservations. We use Gaussian methods and the Laplacian method and the local DP, differential privacies. These are the three methods that can be applied for privacy preservations. Next, secure aggregations and cryptography protections. So here we apply some cryptographic algorithms for preserving the privacies when you are going with aggregation levels. One is called as homomorphic inscriptions. Already you can find this in our network security also, like WhatsApp and Facebook. This homomorphic inscriptions is nothing but we encrypt the gradient and no one can decrypt it. Because when you're sharing in a network, it should be an anonymous gradient descent. Finally, I come to the various levels of healthcare applications. So it can be applied in medical images. Mainly, it can be applied in medical images, and it can be applied in electronic healthcare records, and AGI can be applied for remote patient monitoring. Finally, my proposed approach is this one. When I frame a federated continuous learning, this is an overall matrix which indicates the emerging diseases. Whatever diseases comes, it will be able to predict and it can be identified. And this total model can work under the secure manner without leaking of informations. What are the benchmarks I can keep? Because we are dealing with a different situations. One is at the small groups and medium level and large levels. Suppose if I am dealing with small groups, we can take from 100 to 1,000 samples per client. And this can be maintained at the smaller groups like in the phones for doing the classification. And medium levels is suppose only least number of hospitals are participating in this. We can group them and we can form the data samples. When you are going with a large, that means country to country, we can make connections and make a federated learning systems frameworks, and we can train the AI model and it can be able to predict the diseases. Finally, conclusions and the future directions. So here, the main discussion I focused is only for privacies at all kinds of data and make and continuous learning. And these are the papers so far released. You can find and federated learning with LLMs that is used, and personalized federated learning, and federated learning with the continual learning for long-term healthcare systems. So these are the hot research areas where the papers are published and we can check it. Future directions. In future directions, totally nowadays, the doctors also using chat GPTs for saying the disease conditions and prescriptions. I have noticed one of the hospitals, they were using the chat GPTs for giving the prescriptions and disease identifications. Nowadays, these federated learning models are updated with bio GPTs. There are mostly bio-GPTs are circulating in many countries. I have noticed one in this Kazakhstan hospital. And next is one more future direction is this federated learning can be updated with quantum cryptographies. Quantum cryptography can be applied, and this one. And next is we can use neurosymbolic systems by using symbols for making a reasonable decisions that can be applied. And next is TinyFL. TinyFL is when you are dealing with edge devices, the model size should be very small. We cannot have bigger models that can be developed. This was one of the future research directions. And next is cross silo and cross devices. Suppose if you are using a different kind of wearable devices, the federated learning should support it. And finally, meta learning approach that can be also applied in your healthcare applications. So these are the future directions which can be done, and it will be helpful those who are doing research under these healthcare applications. Finally, these are references. I took it, and thank you.
Thank you, Arun Murugan. Thank you, sir.
Due to the technical issue, we had a problem in a preceding release. Now let's see the preceding release prepared by our organization team.
Arun Murugan, thank you. You can leave, Arun Murugan.
Yet, most powerful gesture. Acknowledgement completes every successful event. Now I request Mr. C. Pradap sir, Head of Department of IT, to deliver the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Thank you. Good morning to one and all gathered here. It is my distinct honor on behalf of Nada College of Engineering and Technology to extend this vote of thanks at the successful inauguration of our International Conference on Recent Trends in Technology 2026, thoughtfully organized in hybrid mode to connect minds across borders. First of all, our deepest gratitude to visionary leadership of our TMHN Management Secretary, Mr. Somasundram sir, and Joint Secretary, Mr. Subramaniam sir, whose generous support and encouragement laid the strong foundation for this prestigious event. We are profoundly thankful to our dynamic principal, Dr. C. Mali Sundaram sir, and Vice Principal, Dr. Satya ma'am, for their inspiring guidance. A special note to faculty of CSE Head, Mr. L.S. Vignesh, and head of the department, Dr. J. Malaraj, whose strategic oversight ensured a flawless start. The inauguration truly shone with a brilliant keynote from Dr. Arumurugan Ramu. Sir, your wonderful insights on emerging technologies have ignited our passion for innovation. Equally, we thank our distinguished session chairpersons, Dr. S. Sudhagar from John Institute of Technology, Bangalore, Dr. R. Logesh Kumar from Vellore Institute of Technology, Tamil Nadu, Dr. S. Suchitra from Veltech Rangarajan, Dr. Sagundala R&D Institute, Chennai, and Dr. Sandamarai from SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Your expertise promises enriching deliberations ahead. And then none of this would be possible without unwavering dedication of our overall coordinator, Mr. R. Uday Kumar, whose leadership drove us forward. Heartfelt thanks to his stellar team, Mr. K. Vel Kumar, Mr. N. Kesavamurthy, and Mrs. J. Kanimali, along with all faculty members, our non-teaching staff for seamless technical support, and every participant from diverse institutions joining us virtually and in person. Thank you once again to one and all for making this inauguration memorable. Thank you.
Check. Innovation begins with the courage to present. We now move on to the presentation session. Participants are requested to connect their
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll connect in our tracks, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.